be honest with you, I can't believe it's been 3 months already since the last time we talked about class loadouts and class builds for Cold War. I know that Warzone's taken a lot of my attention and that Cold War hasn't quite been the bullseye that I had hoped for a COD game this year, but still 3 months is a long time. So naturally today we're going to be breaking down the best setups here for Season 2 within Black Ops Cold War and what you should be running for those looking to grind out multiplayer in Cold War. As we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree with these setups? If there's anything that you'd like to add to this list, feel free to let me know. And also, let me know in the comments down below your top 3 weapons within Season 2. As well, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so there's a single thing running all things Cold War, Warzone, and anything COD related. We're on that road to 400,000 subscribers, so if you'd like to join the community, I'd love to have you. And finally, it is March again, so G Fuel Madness is going on right now. That means that it's a code competition to see who can end up getting their own custom shaker made at the end of it. So if we end up winning that, the Espresso Shaker Cup will become a reality. If you guys are interested in pushing towards that goal with me, check the link in the description below. Use code Espresso over at gfuel.com for 30% off, and from there we go. That said, let's take a look at these class setups for Season 2. As for ranking on these, there's really no rhyme or reason here. We're just going to run down some of the best setups. None of these are definitively number 1, none of them definitively like number 10 or anything like that, but I want to start with some of the new weaponry to begin with, because for the first time, I feel like we actually have some weapons that do make their way into the top category of weaponry. Last season, the MAC-10 was decent, but I didn't think it really had a solidified place in Cold War's MP as a top weapon, maybe just right on the edge there. And the Groza, it was a good weapon, but personally, I just never fell in love with it. But this time around, I quite enjoy both new weapons. So for the first class that we'll talk about, that being the FARA 83. For this, I end up running the Spetsnaz Compensator for vertical recoil control, the Takedown Barrel for 150% increase on effective damage range, the KGB Target Designator for a 60% reveal distance increase with no drawbacks, the Spetsnaz Grip for 6% increase to vertical recoil control and 20% to the horizontal recoil control, the 40-round mag for just a tad quicker reload on that mag that grants a bit more ammo. If you go higher than that, you'll lose more ADS speed, the GRU Elastic Wrap, which will give you 30% increase to the aim down sight speed, which is really important to me to have that sort of snap on a weapon, a 90% flinch resistance increase, and the ability to go prone while aiming. Then for the body of the weapon, the final thing we have is the KGB Skeletal Stock, which gives you a 30% increase on the sprint to fire time, which again is very important if you're somebody that likes to play a mobile and run and gun gameplay style. And there's a 40% increase to the aim walking movement speed, also important because you lose out on that with some of the drawbacks elsewhere. And finally, we have a mill-stop reflex for that pinpoint precision. Obviously, this takes up your wildcard slot of Gunfighter, allowing us to have 8 attachments as opposed to the normal 5. So that leaves us with a traditional secondary and 3 perks to choose from. For the secondary, I just run mainly pistols, primarily on this build, dual Diamatis or a 1911. But on this particular class setup, I did have the Diamatis since that was, to me, one of the most overpowered things in the secondary category. But for that, I end up running the Agency Suppressor, which keeps you off the radar, plus increases vertical recoil control, the Task Force Barrel for that increase in damage and effective range, as well as bullet velocity, the SOF Target Designator, again, for a little bit more reveal distance, the 30-round mag to double that ammo count, plus if you end up using the Speed Mag, that's a 40% reload quickness increase, and the only penalty is the aim down sight speed, which you don't really need to worry about that because the final attachment is dual wield, so that's double the firepower. As for equipment and lethals, this is going to be pretty standard across every class. I run Stim Shot, Semtex, and the Field Mic, and then for the perks on this class, I'll end up running Flak Jacket, Scavenger, and Ghost. The next new weapon is that of the LC-10, and truth be told, I actually really liked this one here right out of the gate and still do to this day. So on the LC-10, I end up running the Task Force Barrel for an increase in the damage, effective damage range, and bullet velocity, the Field Agent Grip for an increase in the vertical recoil control and the horizontal recoil control, the 42-round Speed Mag for a 25% increase in the reload quickness, though not the full 52-round mag at the same time, because there's a bigger ADS penalty that comes associated with the 52-round mag as opposed to the 42, so I'm okay with 10 rounds shorter. I can usually make that work in most engagements. I don't think that I've really had anything where I'm like, I needed the 52 on that. Then I run the Airborne Elastic Wrap to increase that aim down sight time and the flinch resistance, and also have the nice ability to go prone while aiming if needed, and the Raider Stock for an increase to the sprint to fire time and increase in the aim walking movement speed. Now normally I'll pair this with a 1911 pistol, which I have run the Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, Tiger Team Spotlight, 12-round Speed Mag, and the Airborne Elastic Wrap on that. Again, equipment and lethals are the same, though for perks, I end up running Perk Greed, so I have 6 perks with this, to which I run with that Flak Jacket, Tac Mask, Assassin, Scavenger, Ninja, and Ghost. Now, those are the 2 new weapons, and honestly, I have a blast with both of those, but moving over into some other weaponry is that of the XM4. The XM4 overall, in my opinion, is probably one of the most versatile weapons and can absolutely pack a punch. You'll see a ton of pros use this in pro play, though unlike in the CDL and such, the build on this is more so focused on the XM4 than anything else, so we're coming back to that gunfighter wildcard and maxing this thing out. For the XM4 build, I end up having the Millstop Reflex, the SOCOM Eliminator, which gives you muzzle flash concealment and vertical recoil control, the Task Force Barrel, again to increase damage, effective range, and bullet velocity, that SOF Target Designator for a better reveal distance with no drawbacks, the Field Agent Foregrip for the vertical and horizontal recoil control, the 40-round mag, again, better reload speed, but also a lessened penalty to the ADS than that of the higher mags, then the Airborne Elastic Wrap, and Radar Pad for that sprint to fire and walking movement speed. As for the secondary, I run either the Diamantes or the 1911, both of which we've already mentioned here in that, so revert back to that one. Then the equipment again are the same: Stim Shot, Semtex, and Field Mic, and the perks of Flak Jacket, Scavenger, and Ghost. Normally, if I don't run the Task Force Barrel, I'll end up using something like Assassin, but because you only have 2 mags to work with because you lose one with the Task Force Barrel, Scavenger is absolutely something you'll want. Otherwise, you're going to run out of ammo incredibly fast. Another weapon that absolutely shreds through enemies is that of the AK-47. This is a weapon that is honestly still one of the best in the game. It's even G8 in competitive play right now because it is such a beam machine. So if you want to pick off enemies left, right, and center, this is a perfect weapon to do so with. For this, I end up running the Spetsnaz Compensator for vertical recoil control, the VDV Reinforced Barrel, which is actually something on this I prioritize damage, range, and bullet velocity, so we're not using the Task Force Barrel there at that, the Spetsnaz Grip for vertical and horizontal recoil control, the 40-round mags because, well, you guessed it, better ADS time and still quicker reload speeds, and the GRU Elastic Wrap for that ADS, flinch, and drop shotting bonuses. Run that with our secondaries, and then of course the equipment and lethals being Stim Shot, Semtex, and the Field Mic, and again perk greed here at this, so Flak Jacket, Tac Mask, Assassin, Scavenger, Ghost, and Ninja. In the SMG category, I think the AK-74U still is dominant within Cold War, so for this we try to play on some of the strengths it has while also using the perk greed to allow for maximum perk usage. This is my kind of go-to class for things like hardpoint and other objective-oriented modes, so that when I'm in the thick of it, I can have that protection of some of these perks, but also can absolutely slay out. As for the build on the 74U, I end up running the Task Force Barrel, Spetsnaz Grip, 40-round Speed Mag, the GRU Elastic Wrap, and the Skeletal Stock. This attachment being the only thing that really isn't constant in all the builds, so this one we're going to explain a little further. It offers a sprint to fire time bonus, as well as the aim walking movement speed, so only a slight penalty to hip fire, which I'm not doing much hip firing with this weapon. I'll pair that normally with the 1911 pistol, same build as before, the Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, Tiger Team Spotlight, 12-round Speed Mag, and Airborne Elastic Wrap, and then of course the equipment and lethals are the same again: Stim Shot, Semtex, Field Mic, and so is the perk greed perk setup with Flak Jacket, Tac Mask, Assassin, Scavenger, Ghost, and Ninja. Jumping back over to another assault rifle class here, one that has been a snap-on favorite if you want to talk about snap aim, is the Krig 6. The way that we set this up again is one that is absolutely set up to show off the weapon and its attributes that help it out big time. The Krig, I think, is one of the best all-around weapons in my book, so we try and max it out for the gun itself using the gunfighter attachment for 8 attachments. For this, we end up running the SOCOM Eliminator, the Ranger Barrel, the SOF Target Designator, the Field Agent Grip, the 40-round Speed Mag, the Airborne Elastic Wrap, the Raider Stock, and then finally the Millstop Reflex. And again, I'll normally pair this with that 1911 pistol, same as before: Stim Shot, Semtex, Field Mic, and the perks of Flak Jacket, Scavenger, and Ghost. Sometimes I'll throw in Assassin there as well if I'm looking to get an extra score bonus for taking down people on a streak, but that's something that's kind of interchangeable. After that, one of the weapons that I've been using quite a bit is the AUG attack rifle that, just like the M16, is absolutely a beam machine. And truth be told, the AUG and M16 are kind of interchangeable in terms of where I think both of these rank in the top weapons, though as of recently I've just been using the AUG a little bit more. For that, I end up running the Millstop Reflex. I don't need any crazy magnification or any special optic. I just need something that will give me a pinpoint precise shot because I'm not a huge fan of the iron sights on the AUG. Then the Task Force Barrel, the Field Agent Grip, the Airborne Elastic Wrap, and the 45-round mag. As for the secondary, I'll end up running the 1911 or Diamantes, but actually I've been kind of running the Gallo sometimes as well, just trying to rank that up a little bit with it. That I'd end up recommending the Task Force for added damage, the Infantry V-Choke, the 9-round Tube, the Airborne Elastic Wrap, and the No Stock for a 40% increase to the sprint to fire time. As for the equipment, lethals, and perks, well, you could probably say it with me at this point: Stim Shot, Semtex, Field Mic, Flak Jacket, Tac Mask, Assassin, Scavenger, Ghost, and Ninja. Now, in terms of Cold War, an absolute sleeper of a weapon, I think, is that of the Stoner. For this, you absolutely want to max this out because it has an incredible damage profile, but it also ends up having incredibly slow movement speed. So you want to try and prioritize that mobility, but also keeping that damage profile intact. And if you watch some of this gameplay, you'll end up seeing that we absolutely shred through enemies within like 3 shots at a distance. So it's incredibly good. You just want to make sure you have a good build for it. So for that, I'd end up recommending the SOCOM Eliminator, the SOF Target Designator, the Task Force Barrel, the Field Agent Grip, the Fast Mag so that you don't get caught up in that reload speed that takes forever on LMGs, the SAS Combat Stock, the Serpent Wrap, and the Millstop Reflex. Pair that with a secondary of your choice and then you're good to go, plus also again then the Flak Jacket, Scavenger, and Ghost. The final regular class setup, if you want to call it that, is the MP5. We'll talk about in just a second the Pelington for snipers because I've been playing around with a little bit of snipers here as of recently, but the MP5 I end up running the Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, 40 round Fast Mag, Airborne Elastic Wrap, and the Raider Stock with a secondary of my choice, and then of course Stim Shot, Semtex, the Field Mic, Flak Jacket, Tac Mask, Assassin, Scavenger, Ghost, and Ninja, running that perk greed once again. Now, as for the sniping class, I end up running the Pelington on this, but this is going to be unlike any of the other builds we've talked about because there is a variable of overkill, which you end up needing to take Lawbreaker, which allows you to have any secondary weapon you want, and also any perk designation you want. On the actual Pelington itself, I'm still ranking this up, so I end up using the SOF Target Designator, the Reinforced Heavy Barrel, because I think that's honestly all I need. The other drawbacks, I'm not a huge fan of when you get up into the higher barrels. Then the Infiltrator Grip for a little bit more mobility, the 7 round Speed Mag, though, truth be told, if we're using a magazine, why do I still have to load individual rounds by hand? Come on. Then also the Serpent Wrap as well. Now again, I overkill this with the MP5, that being the same build that we just mentioned of the Agency Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, 40 round Fast Mag, Airborne Elastic Wrap, and the Raider Stock, and then the equipment, lethals, and the field upgrade again of the Stim Shot, Semtex, and Field Mic. But where this differs again comes down to those perk selections. For this with Lawbreaker, I can end up taking whatever perks I want, so I end up using Tac Mask, Ghost, and Ninja. I don't really need any Scavenger or Assassin here on this one. I don't really need Flak Jacket because I'm not going to be rushing into objective points as much, but those 3 give me an incredible build, I think, to round out the rest of this. But that right now is my top classes here for Season 2 and what I'd recommend the absolute most. So there's a lot to play around with here. Let me know how you do with any of them if you decide to give them a try, but absolutely give them a shot. I think you can do well at these. That said, though, that's where we're going to wrap it up. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of these loadouts? Again, let me know what you think. If I missed any, feel free to add in the comments down below your favorite loadout and favorite weapons. And then also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like down below. If you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing running all things Cold War, Warzone, and anything COD related. We'll keep you up to date with all of it. So if you're interested, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, there's the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Brag live on both those. If you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. But said, thanks so much for watching. My name's Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.